Greetings, Earthlings, and welcome back to my channel. For those of you that might have caught the short that I produced a couple of weeks ago, referencing Mr. Tony's wild ride down the hills of Cottonwood, Arizona on my runaway golf cart. It was an adventure to be sure. So I wanted to bring you up to date on that particular issue and let you know that after I created the couple of videos that I did, I received a message from a young man named, well, I guess he's a young man, might be older than me, I don't know, but a gentleman named Steve from Cricket Golf Carts in Daytona, I believe, and he said that he might be able to assist me with my issue. So I took that as meaning that there may be a solution that they've come up with for this particular problem. So I held off for a little while. In the meantime, Steve's father had passed away, and he went to his father's funeral. So it took him a little while to get back in touch with me, but he did reach out earlier this week, I believe, on Monday, and he went over a couple of issues with me, told me what he thought the problem might be. He said that it might be the controller is out of date, and so that they've upgraded the controller about the same time that my cart was manufactured. So so he was pretty adamant about that. I told him I didn't think that was the issue because the controller would only be controlling the motor, and the motor, I feel like the motor stopped when I let up on the brake. I feel like the motor probably stopped, but I don't know. But because the sacrificial part is between the motor and the gearbox, and that's the part that spun out, I don't think that the controller was the issue. However, in our conversation, he suggested that he was going to send me a new controller, a new motor, and a couple of couplings, and he was going to send those out to me at no charge, because he was genuinely concerned about the issue, and I felt that in our conversation over the phone. His primary concern was not to deny any responsibility or blame or anything like that, which I wasn't trying to blame anybody. I just thought it was a very poor design, and engineers are prone to do that. So but he was very concerned, wanted to make sure that my wife and I were okay, and that he wanted to make it right. So so he volunteered to send those things out, and by golly, by the end of the day, I did receive an email with a tracking number from FedEx. So the parts should be here Tuesday, and we'll put those on and see how that works. Now, fortunately, I neglected to mention, I think, that when I replaced the sacrificial hub that's made out of plastic, and I took the motor off, the motor was extremely hot. So I feel like that maybe the motor may have been having issues or something like that. And since he's going to send me a new motor and controller, I feel like that the problem probably will be resolved, because I think the motor was the issue. But I'm going to drive it around here after I get it put all together. I'm going to drive it just about until the battery dies, just around as many loops as I can make, and just check the motor to see if the motor has built up an excessive amount of heat. If it doesn't, then we may be golden, and I'll get to keep my Cricket, and because I did buy it because I wanted something to ride around in the campground. So so hopefully that'll work out. And I tell you, I cannot say enough about the customer service from Cricket in Daytona. And I'm assuming it's Daytona. It said another town, but it was in Florida, and I think it was probably the one in Daytona. But their customer service is amazing, and Steve specifically went. I mean, he genuinely wanted to resolve the issue, and he wasn't concerned that the cart was no longer under warranty. He wanted to make sure that the cart was up to their standards. So I thought that was amazing and unique, because I have been battling for some time with my insurance company, Nat General, which I can't say enough bad about them, because man, they denied my claim, saying that they did not see any damage of or any sign of wind damage, when my wife and I were sitting there watching the wind grab the awning and take it up in the air, and then it slammed back down, and then the very next day I went up there and the brackets were pulled loose, and I sent them that video and everything that they required, and they sent out I knew it was going to be the issue, because when the guy came out originally, he was trying to say that it had a leak coming from screws on the side of the RV where there's a rub rail on there. And I called him back the next day. I said, hey, just wanted you to look at those pictures again, and you'll see that those screws that you say it was leaking from are probably 3 inches below the roof. So unless you figured out a way where water can leak in the screws and go and then climb the wall instead of go down the wall, I think you might be mistaken. So and then on top of that, November, I had a tire that I had to replace, because it was actually a seam had started to come apart on it or something, at the not dry rot, but just it looked like a defect or something. But and I have the Good Sam's roadside, or Good Sam's tire and wheel coverage, and they finally just sent me a message last week, I think, that they were going to pay $400 and some. Well, the tire cost me $720, so I don't know where the discrepancy is, and they won't respond to emails to explain that to me. So there you go. But at any rate, that's my adventure. So I just wanted to point out the goods customer service. I'll probably do another video letting you know what the results of the testing that I can do after Tuesday. All right, y'all. Sunset in Mesa, Arizona, which is funny, because I think the sun is setting right there behind that little wall down there, because it's been hotter than hell the last 2 days. It's about 94 right now at 15 minutes to 7 in the evening. So definitely been a warm couple days. It was 105 yesterday, and 95 I think was the high today. So but it beats the hell out of wading through snow, I'm gonna tell you that right now. So if you want a nice place to spend some of your winter, by golly, Mesa, Arizona, good place. The campground here, Mesa Spirit, very nice campground. Well laid out, 3 pools, miniature golf, several shuffleboard areas with a lot of shuffleboard. They got probably like 8 or 10 at each location, and at least 2 locations have shuffleboard. So it's pretty good. They got outside barbecue facilities at the pool, inside air conditioned facilities if you wanted to go in and sit and watch television and stuff like that. Typical Thousand Trails and Encore. Wow, that sure is pretty, huh? Look at there. I want to show you. Look at this. My video is not good enough. She got to come out and take her own video. I'm married to a nut. But that is a pretty sunset. So, and I was sitting in there watching TV in the air conditioning, and I happened to look out the window and see that. I'm like, let me go outside and take a little video of that. So hopefully y'all are having as wonderful a evening as I am right now. So we will see y'all at a little later date. Stick with us. But in the meantime, when camping, take only photos, leave only footprints. Travel safe. We'll see you next time. I am Charlie.